Morning, everyone. I hope nobody didn't mind getting wet coming from the car to the building this morning. I think everybody in this room appreciates a drop of rain. Hopefully we get a lot more. I'd like to welcome everyone this morning. Thank everyone for coming out. I would like to welcome back Minister Forsey, Deputy Minister Jamie Tippett, your staff Nicholas and Linda from the Department of Forestry, Agriculture and Lands. Only 8 days ago they were here. Over the last couple of weeks here in Labrador West, our residents, our business community, our industrial community, and community leaders have experienced some anxious times. With 26 forest fires burning across Labrador, and many of them too close for comfort to town of Labrador City, including Dooley Lake, Walsh River, Trone Lake, town of Wallbush, Swanson Lake, Fifth Lake, Emery Lake, DeMille Lake, and Blueberry Hills. Some fires affecting our transmission lines, Trans-Labrador Highway, and our railway tracks. But so far, we've managed to protect them all, thanks to some outstanding groups. Stay safe. We called that 5 minutes ago. Did we? Anyway, I'll continue on. Hopefully, it didn't want me too long. But so far, we've managed to protect it all thanks to some outstanding groups, organizations, agencies, and government departments. On behalf of all residents of Labrador West, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all those who've helped keep our community safe over the past 2 weeks. The Premier's office and Minister Forsey's department for ensuring that we have all the resources required to keep our community safe. Incident management team and all their support staff, our water bomber helicopter pilots, IOC's helicopter crews, bird dog crew, our ground crews from Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, our local forestry office and staff, foreign emergency services, town mayors, councillors, and staff, Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, Ground Search and Rescue, Labrador Grenfell Health, IOC, Rio Tinto, Dakota Resources, Red Cross, and the Salvation Army, and our local business community as well. Might be showing a little bit of favoritism here, but I left our local 3 emergency response teams last on the list here. Labrador City Fire Rescue, Wallbush Fire Department, and IOC ERT team. If anybody's seen what our 3 local emergency response teams done here over the last 3 weeks, they were up to Walsh River, Trone Lake, put sprinkler systems on homes and cottages. It was amazing. They even went so far as Grand Hermine to protect 3 structures down there. So I just want to let the community know that we're in good hands here with our own emergency response teams. If I forgot anyone, please forgive me. There's too many to mention. I also want to thank our residents for being patient and staying calm in these trying times. It's only a couple of evenings, a couple lineups at the gas station, but that's to be expected, right? I want to thank all those residents and businesses for supporting our first responders and ground crews with foods, refreshments, and donations. There is no doubt that when in time of need, we do certainly come together as a community. So again, thank you to one and all. At this time, I would like to introduce the Deputy Minister of Forestry, Agriculture and Lands, Jamie Tippett, for an update on the forest fire.
Good morning, everybody. What a difference a week makes. So it's good to be back in Labrador West. We have 24 active wildfires on the Newfoundland Labrador fire dashboard. 6 of those are listed as under control. 3 are being held. Much of the remainder are remote fires that we normally monitor because they are not an immediate threat to communities or to key pieces of infrastructure. Generally, I think MHA Power covered well what we're seeing from a weather perspective today. And thankfully, the forecast certainly suggests we're going to see more of that in the days that come. That certainly means the fire weather indices in Labrador are in a much better spot than they were a week ago, and will probably remain so for a little while. In terms of resources in Labrador, there are 4 water bombers, and 3 are here, of course. There are 6 helicopters, 3 dedicated to Lab West, 3 operating out of Goose Bay. There are 55 firefighters, including 20 from Nova Scotia, across Labrador. And we have 19 incident management team personnel split between the IMT here, set up in the Forestry office in Wabush, and another IMT for East, set up in Goose Bay. I'm going to run through the fires that have been most talked about and the ones that we've talked about in terms of proximity to communities and particular pieces of infrastructure. But before I do, just a couple of notes. One is there is obviously information on the Newfoundland Labrador Wildfire Operations Dashboard that the public can refer to at any point in time for information on all the fires, including the ones that are being monitored remotely. And secondly, as fire activity near communities and infrastructure decreases, some of those resources I talked about will be deployed to do new measurements and new assessments of fires that are in more remote areas. So in terms of fires under the control of the incident management team that is set up in Wabush, I probably don't need to say very much about Walsh's River. Obviously, that is now listed as under control. It is 682 hectares, and we continue to have 2 ground crew teams and helicopters ready for any smokes that do occur. In terms of fire 639, which is Lac Jackson, the portion of that fire in Newfoundland and Labrador is 230 hectares. It's about 28 kilometers west of Lab City. And that fire remains the focus of our aerial suppression needs in terms of use of tankers and so on. The Embar fire, so first of all, thank IOC for their action and work on that fire. That one is still listed as out of control, but we do get regular monitoring reports from IOC, and my understanding is the railway and the fiber optic line are not impacted at this time. Shallow Lake was a fire that you would have heard talked about as well. That remains out of control, but no growth in recent days. So we continue to monitor that one and use suppression resources when we need to. And Esker Road is listed as under control. That fire is 40 kilometers west of Churchill, adjacent to the highway, but yesterday the fire saw no growth. And we expect it could continue to remain in that state. So that's the major fires for the IMT West team. In terms of the East team, there's Crooked Pond, which is 63 kilometers southwest of Cartwright. That is now listed as under control. The Brinko Bridge fire is also listed as under control. That's 24 kilometers west of Churchill Falls, 1.5 kilometers from the highway. Ground crews and helicopters are expected to work on hotspots on that fire today, if flying is possible. And then we have two relatively new fires. I think they started a couple of nights ago. Portage Brook 1 and Portage Brook 2 are 24 and 30 kilometers north of Churchill Falls. Both are risks that are listed as being held, and there's no threat from either of those fires. One is 4 hectares and one is 2 hectares, so not a great concern at this time. The last thing I want to do is just say thank you to all of the emergency management partners who have worked with Provincial Resources. Wanted to say thank you to the water bomber crews and pilots. But I specifically wanted to note officials from the Department of Forestry, Agriculture and Lands. So our firefighters, our incident commanders, our incident management teams, and our officials from the Emergency Services Division, of course, who are responsible for the Provincial Emergency Operations Center and coordination with all of the folks on the ground here and partners across the province. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the day.
Thank you, Deputy Minister Chippett. As most of you know, I've had the honor of serving the community of Labrador West as fire chief and know firsthand what it means to have the resources that are required here during a major forest fire. There is a saying that a close friend of mine taught me years ago that I like to use as my time as fire chief. Sooner be looking at it and looking for it, which goes a long ways in situations like this. Again, I would like to thank Premier Forsey for providing our communities with all the resources they required over the past couple of weeks in order to keep us safe. We were very fortunate that we had water bombers in the area when the Walsh River fire started due to lightning strikes. If those resources have not been deployed here at that time, we may be looking at a completely different situation regarding our community. Since being elected in October and learning in January that the 5th water bomber will be repaired and put back into service, I realized that conversations had to be started. So, no doubt, being on the side of a good government, building relationships with the Premier, cabinet ministers, and members of caucus makes those discussions go a little easier. Every cabinet minister has been very busy and working hard since the election in October, and their schedules have been very busy as well. So getting the same minister back into your district twice in 8 days must mean something good is on the horizon. So at this time, I would like to welcome back and introduce my colleague and friend, the Minister of Forestry and Agriculture and Lands, the Honourable Pleaman Forsey, to let you exactly know where these discussions has led us.
See how they start fixing the mic as soon as I gets up? Huh? You ever notice that? Anyway, good morning, and it is a pleasure to be back in Lab West for the second time in a row in as much as a week, and it's a great honor to be here, especially along with the people and the resilient people that I've met over the past 2 weeks. And let me begin by saying thank you to everyone involved, our officials, departmental officials, doing a great job, the IMTs, our provincial emergency, the PIAC team, crews, helicopter pilots, water bomber pilots, the towns, municipalities, and of course the fire departments, volunteer fire departments that we have, everybody involved, and again the industry leaders as well. So again, a big thank you, and this is why we're in the position we are today, because of the collaborative position that we've taken in the past few weeks. But anyway, now that I'm gone off my notes, I'm going to start reading them. But in the past few weeks, I've seen a resilience and the cooperation of Labradorians firsthand as they manage the response to these wildfires and ensure the safety of Labrador's communities and residents. Fire departments have been doing excellent work, working with incident management teams to keep operations running smoothly. Industry partners like Hydro and the Iron Ore Company of Canada, which I had the great opportunity of meeting yesterday, have gone above and beyond as true community partners and offered assistance even before it was even asked for. And we've heard the stories of that, the way they just came and helped out. So thank you very, very much to those people. Here in Labrador West, Mayor Gertie Canning, Mayor Jordan Brown, and their teams have demonstrated exceptional leadership throughout this situation. And of course, with strong advocacy from a 30-year veteran of the fire department, 13 years of that as fire chief, and the great advocacy and the conversation that we've had with your MHA, Joe Power, has been phenomenal. And Joe has gotten us back for the second time due to conversation that we had when we were here the last time. Now this time, during conversations over the past week, again with the Premier's office, and bringing us back to this situation to those announcements today. And I must say, working with Joe is a great treat. His experience alone is phenomenal. Our incident management teams in Labrador West and Happy Valley Goose Bay have been in constant communication with municipalities and residents. The Provincial Emergency Operations Center has been meeting with municipalities, stakeholders, and other emergency service partners daily. We are providing multiple daily updates on social media and on our wildfire management website. The cooperation and effort has been exceptional. And I am pleased to hear from many people that this has been one of the best managed emergency responses they have ever seen. And that goes to the collaboration of everyone in this room and everyone involved. And again, thank you very, very much. With a full complement of operational water bombers, more wildland firefighters hired and trained, enhanced training and equipment for volunteer fire departments, and wildlife resilience planning underway in communities, our teams and partners are ready to respond when needed. That work has certainly been paying off here in Labrador over the past few weeks. We do understand your concerns related to wildfire in Labrador's vast landscape and forest conditions, and we are listening to your leaders and your residents. Your commitment to community and to each other is strong, but please be assured, our government's commitment to you and your safety is just as strong. To further support wildfire suppression resources in Labrador, the provincial government will continue the planning process to establish infrastructure in Wabush to support seasonal presence of a water bomber in Labrador West. Provide $66,000 in firefighting equipment for fire departments in Labrador through Fire Vehicle and Equipment Fund. Purchase 2 dedicated structural protection units to be positioned in Wabush and Happy Valley Goose Bay for use throughout Labrador. Allocate 6 new wildland firefighter positions for Labrador. Continue to work closely with communities in Labrador to establish future community wildfire prevention and mitigation programs, plans, and projects. This will support $150,000 in funding already allocated for projects underway in Labrador City, Port Hope Simpson, and Marys Harbor. And let me end with saying, again, thank you for your dedication, cooperation, and leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Forsey, for that great news for Labrador West and Labrador. Now I got to be a real politician. Our campaign, our party campaign on safer communities for all of us. And we personally campaign in Lab City and Wildbush on reinstating the water bomber back in Wildbush. So I'll quote our Premier this morning in saying, promise made, promise kept. Thank everyone for coming out. Thank you.